All right, we are live. Welcome back after a long hiatus to another episode of the Go in the Distance podcast. My name is Ryan Bennell, and alongside me is my co-host Elijah Span. We're back after a few weeks off. Like we kind of said in the last episode, life has heated up a little bit with work and school and everything all together. So we're gonna try and continue to do this podcast as regularly as possible. But bear with us. If any major updates come, we'll be sure to mention it. But for now, we're just going to keep trying to keep on keeping on. So, yeah, a lot has happened since we've last talked. And that's basically football, and more football. It's just been straight football, which is pretty much all we're going to talk about today. We got NFL, we got college football, nothing fancy. We're really just going to bring up some of the main talking points of the season thus far and give our take on it. Pretty straightforward. So before we get into the episode, though, be sure and follow our social media over at GTD_sports, other than TikTok, where we are at GTDsports.com. Follow our personal accounts. I'm over at Ryan Bedell8, and Elijah is at ElijahSpan19. You can check out all of our content, including JD, his fantasy articles that have been going up these past few days. Good stuff. Make sure to go check that out if you need any fantasy advice, with which I can say both Elijah and I need in our current league that we are in together, as we're the only 0-3 teams in the entire 12-man league. So not an ideal start. But yeah, so be sure to do that. And last but not least, use code GTDS125 when signing up for BetUS Sportsbook. You get up to 125% deposit bonus when you first put in some dough. All right, I think that's about it. Let's go ahead and get in. Before we get into football, actually, let's start out with our highlight and low light from not only the past weekend, but the past few weeks, I guess. Elijah, what do you got?
So, you already brought up my low light is that I'm 0-3 in one of my. I have two leagues, the one that we're in and the one that I have with my friends. So low light is that I'm 0-3 in that league. A little bit of a silver lining is that I'm like 8th in points scored, so I know I'm not the second worst team in the league, which I'm at right now. You, on the other hand, I think you might be the worst team in the league. Maybe
yeah,
besides one other guy.
I think I have the second least points for, and I have it 0-3. Yeah. Oh, and guess what? DeAndre Swift and David Montgomery, my RB1 and RB2, both got hurt on the same day. And I don't have my backup running back is David Harris. That's all I have. So
yeah, well, I've been starting ghosts for my RBs in that league too, so I understand your pain.
I'm about to have to really pull for like a 14-point performance from Samaje Perine,
That's painful. But I'm 3-0 in my other league with my buddies, so that's good with the most points scored. So I'm first overall. I'm riding high. I'm facing the lowest points scored guy this week, so I'm staring 4-0 right in the face right now. And I'm riding high. Chris Olave has been sitting on my bench. He's ready to get in the starting position now.
Dude, I am so glad he's worked out. I was so high on him.
Yeah, you were. That's why I drafted him in my other league. I was like, oh, Ryan said something about him. I'm going to snag him up right now, too.
Dude, he's looking really good. He's only going to get better, I think.
Oh, I think so, too. I think he's going to score his first touchdown in London.
Yeah, I was about to say, because dude had like 24 points last week without a touchdown. So
yeah, without a tutty. So
he's getting his fair target share.
And all the players that we talked about that you kind of shat on for my team have worked out really well. Like Clyde Edwards-Helaire has worked out so far.
I don't think he's going to long term. I don't know. I mean, you're right. I was wrong about it.
Don't think so either, but it's kind of worked out a little bit with Helaire, and Lamar has been going off. So
dude, yeah, Lamar is just ridiculous. Like I should have known better, bro. With like a contract year,
the contract
that's
year.
all it is. It's the contract year. God damn it, bro. But yeah, I think in my leagues, I'm in 5 leagues, which is ridiculous to keep up with.
That's too many.
I'm not doing it again. It's not even fun.
No, I think one year I did like 8. A bunch of them were random ESPN ones, but I was in like a lot of leagues, and I was like, this is not fun. So I keep it to about 2 max. The most I'll ever do is 3.
Yeah, because like I'm in 2 like no matter what. Well, I'm in 3 like every year repeating leagues. Like one's a dynasty league, one's a redraft league with my dynasty league, and then I have the league that me and you are in together with all my buddies from home. And then my master's class was like, oh, let's do a league, and I'm like, okay. So I did that, and then my buddy texted me 30 minutes before a draft, hey, we need one spot. Are you in? I'm like, fuck, I guess. But dude, I'm pissed because like my Masters like cohort league is a 16-man league, and I was projected like every week. I've been projected more than I am in my 12-man leagues. Like I got a team, bro. It makes no sense how good of the players I got, but I'm 0-3, dog. They don't score. Like it doesn't make sense. Like you look at it on.
Who do you got on there?
Oh, dude, hold on. Let me see. I know I have Michael Pittman for sure. Okay, so Dak got hurt. That really hurt me.
Yeah.
I got Christian McCaffrey and Chase Edmonds as my running backs.
Okay.
Then I got Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Brandon Cooks, and Chris Olave as my receivers.
Oh, wow.
Which those are just nuts. And then I have David Njoku as my tight end is my weak spot, but he had 24 points last week, and I still lost by 1.
Oh.
Yeah, so
I had a guy in my league last week that lost by 0.2 of a point.
That's literally 2 yards, bro. That's tough.
Yeah, I couldn't
tough.
believe it.
But all right, yeah. Anyway, my highlight is not necessarily sports related, but I went to SneakerCon this past weekend. So I've gone to SneakerCon every time it's in Texas. It came to Phoenix, and here they're actually like right here. So cop these bad boys.
Oh, okay.
Spent way too much money on them, and these bad boys spent way too much money on them too.
Let me see those. What are those?
They're the Travis Scott.
Oh, those
Air
are
Forces.
Nikes. Oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
I'm not big into sneakers though. I just wear white shoes.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I spent way too much money on that, and now that I have a job and everything, spending my own money on shit like that, it hits different.
It's nice.
It is. It's nice, but also like, fuck, I really just spent that much on it. Like, ooh.
Yeah.
But all right, and then my low light is similar to how fantasy has been cruel. The NFL, I mean, not like it's going terribly wrong, but I haven't had a winning week in the NFL. I've ended down 1 unit or down like 2 units every week. Like it's nothing like major, It's like I can bounce back, but I'm tired of going like 3-5. I want to go 5-3, So it's been a little bit cruel to my bankroll. A lot of half-point losses and everything like that. So it is what it is, though. But now that we're on to the topic, or what?
NFL's been tough. I've been weirdly fucking like fiery hot in college football, and then I just lose it all on NFL.
Dude, exactly. Yeah. Like I've been positive in college football. I think 3 out of the 4 weekends so far. So like college football, that's where the bread and butter is. I feel like. Because these NFL lines, they're too damn good at setting these lines, dude.
I know. Well, and I haven't figured them out yet. Last year, I got to the point where I don't want to say I cracked the code, but I could get a better read on the lines. We haven't gotten there yet in the season, but I'm still rolling with it.
Dude, like there's a few stuff.
Yeah, I had a good week last week in NFL. I went up only $40, but that's because live bets have been the bane of my existence.
Those will get you.
Mm-hmm. So, but like the Dolphins line, I was able to I sniffed that one out right away, immediately.
Dude, yeah, there was 5 lines last week where over 80% of the public was taking one side, and 3 of them actually ended up hitting. But there was one that I was dead, and I wish we had a podcast last week because I would have like guaranteed my life on it. I told everybody that Colts plus 6.5 was hitting, and then it moved to 5, and I was like, I don't care, it's still hitting. And all my friends were like, dude, why? Like, why would you bet on the Colts? They're so bad. The Chiefs are gonna roll them. That's how Vegas works. This is how they do it. Yeah. 93% of people had money on the Chiefs spread. 93%. Yeah. So like sometimes there's just been weird stuff going on. Like next week, or I guess for tomorrow, Thursday Night Football. Have you checked the odds yet?
I know it's Bengals -4.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, who would you think is favored in that game?
Dolphins. That's why I'm probably gonna bet on the Bengals. It's a gross line. It's a gross line.
Yeah, I usually don't bet on my team, but this seems fishy. Like this seems like Vegas is trying to sway a lot of people to take the 3-0 team at plus points. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll get into our betting picks towards the end of the episode, though. For now, let's go ahead and get into some. How do you feel? If you remember this segment from a while back, it's pretty straightforward. We basically just go random questions, talking points, and explain how we feel about it. And let's start with the NFL, and then we'll go into college football.
Okay.
So first things first. How do we feel about the Bills being the best team in the NFL? Are they still the best team, or has that changed now that the Eagles and Dolphins are playing hot?
This is simple. Yes, they're still the best team in the NFL.
Thank you. I agree.
They were depleted at cornerback. That's why they had some troubles there. Josh Allen is still by far and away the best quarterback in the league right now. I mean, dude's on a planet. I think my Justin Herbert MVP future is terrible now. It's Josh. I knew I should have hedged it with Josh Allen too. I thought maybe placed a little bit on him too, but he's the favorite for a reason, and he's showing why. So yeah, I think the Bills are the most complete team. Von Miller is a stud. He's looks like the Von Miller of old right now.
Yeah, so still balling, which is nuts.
Yeah. So I mean, I by far and away the Bills are the best team in the league for sure.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Look, the Dolphins, they're rolling. They're kind of hot right now. They came out to a hot start. They're playing well. It's a tough divisional opponent on the road in Miami. The Heat was something different that game. So, those are the types of games where you might drop. You're not going to go 17-0, okay? Even if you're going to win the Super Bowl, you're not going to go 17-0. That's just not going to happen in this league. I 100% agree that the Bills are still the best team. And I think the only conversation that could be had is maybe the Eagles overtake them if they continue this hot streak. But I don't know if the Eagles can continue this hot streak. I think if anybody's going to get back going again, it'll be the Bills. Because, in their first two games, they looked like the most dominant team we've seen in half a decade,
Yeah.
So they were just nuts. But, all right, moving on.
Let's bump up. Who do you think the worst team in the league is? Because it's later on down the list, but let's do that right now.
Yeah.
Who do you think the worst team is right now, since we talked about the best?
That's really tough. I would probably have to lean towards the Seahawks.
Seahawks are bad.
I think I got to go Seahawks, yeah.
They beat the Broncos, who Broncos are not good.
They're not good at all. Yeah, they're a joke. Also, I think that was just a Geno Smith game. I don't even know. That was just a fluke, weird game.
He was awesome.
Yeah,
he was awesome in that game.
And then the next game against the Niners, they looked like dog shit.
Yeah, and then they lost to the Falcons, who are also very bad.
Yeah, I would have to say, and I know the Texans are kind of the popular pick for the worst team, but they've been in every game they've played this year. Mm-hmm. So, which is I would have never expected at this point already. So I got to go with the Seahawks. So
I know they're 2-1 right now, but the Bears are god fucking awful. Like Justin Fields. I don't have the stats in front of me, but just look up his numbers right now. They're not. It's worse than the triple option in Georgia Tech days. It is so bad. You just saw him.
Through 3 games, he has a 51% completion percentage, which is already bad. He has 2 games below 50%. That's terrible. Mm-hmm. 297 yards through 3 games, only 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, with a QBR of 50.
I'm feeling very good about my Justin Fields as a bust take right now.
Yeah, very much so.
I think we're both on that. And they're probably going to win 1 or 2 more games. If they get to 5, they get to 5 wins. If they win more than 5 games, I would be shocked. I would be shocked because they are so bad. They're somehow getting this through the mud in these wins. They won a fluky game against the Niners in the rain, and then they beat the Texans in a tight one.
Barely beat the Texans just because of late game mistakes. They got lucky in that.
Yeah, exactly. And their defense, Leonard Floyd just kind of took over. So yeah.
All right,
they're my worst team.
Speaking of kind of teams on the lower end of things, the Arizona Cardinals, They're 1-2 right now after that crazy 23-point comeback against the Raiders, who are the only 0-3 team in the league right now. How do we feel about the Cardinals right now, just in general? Do we think anything similar to last year is going to happen, where they have like a span of hype, like they go on a little run, or is this team done and should they be 0-3 right now?
This team should definitely be 0-3 right now. They got bailed out by a call in that I think it was on fourth down when they got bailed out against the Raiders on that illegal touching. I hate that illegal touching call.
Yeah, I don't understand it exactly.
It's so candy ass. It's literally, I don't either. But we're gonna see more of it, and it's gonna continue to make us mad. But anyway, no, I'm calling it right now. Cliff Kingsbury's gonna get fired at the end of this year.
I wouldn't be too surprised. I think, honestly, for the Cardinals, if I was them, I would want to get rid of Cliff Kingsbury. Like, if I was a Cardinals fan, I would already want him gone. I don't see this start to the season turning around at all. They got lucky in that Raiders game. They got a win. It is what it is. But, I would say that they're more likely just going to continue on this path because Kyler's not playing amazing. He's not playing horrible, but he's not playing amazing. And I will give them credit, though. Their receiving core has been much better than I anticipated. With, guys like
Hollywood Brown is doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's doing well. And even this guy, Greg Dortch, has come out of nowhere and had like almost 8 catches every game. So he's been really good for them. Zach Ertz has been playing decent. So, yeah, I mean, there's some things not to be ashamed of on that team. But I just think overall, when they're lined up against almost any other team, they're just inferior. I just don't think they're going to be able to click. I think if they had a different coach, the talent could maybe generate something. But with the way they're running things right now, I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, a lot of Kyler just holding the ball for about 15 seconds and trying to make something happen.
Yeah, and that works in college, but
it's unsustainable.
Yeah, it's not going to win you games in the NFL.
Final record, where do you think they finish at?
That's tough. Because they play in a tough division too. I'm gonna say 6 wins.
See, I was thinking 7.
5 or 6, I think. Yeah, 6,
I don't think they're
6
that
and 11.
bad, but I think 7 and 10 would be a disappointing season for them.
I think so too. Yeah, 7 sounds good as well. I think anywhere around there would make sense. I mean, 1 and 2. Again, they should be 0-3, which is kind of annoying, but especially for us who we were big on the Raiders. And
that's looking so bad right now.
Oh, it's looking so bad. We literally were so confident the Raiders were winning that division. I mean, it's a long season. They could turn it around.
No.
But no, Josh McDaniels is not doing a good job.
He's not that guy.
Yeah, everybody wants him gone already.
He is, in fact, not him.
Yeah, he is not.
Yeah, even when Raiders pop up on Red Zone, I'm like, oh, this is sad. Like the end of that Titans game, I was watching it with a Raiders fan with me. I was like, how do you do this? Like Derek Carr is not looking good.
Yeah,
it's painful to watch.
Yeah, that game was brutal because I had the under in it, and it was like 46, or it was 45 and a half, and the game finished at 46 or something like that. And they didn't get the 2-point conversion. So it's like, if you're going to do that, at least win the game, at least make me losing a bet worth it. But, yeah. Now, I also watched that game with a Raiders fan, and I don't know. He seems pretty upset about it. Like, he has faith in Carr, though, which I think most of them should. I think Raiders fans should have faith in Carr. Because, I mean, this offense, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, they got guys, like they should be, and they have a decent O-line as well. So, like, not the best, but I feel like this offense should be doing way more than it is right now. And speaking of offenses that might be doing more than they should be right now, Cooper Rush, the backup for your Dallas Cowboys, is now 3-0 as a starter, including 2-0 this season, with wins over the defending AFC champion Bengals and the 2-0 New York Football Giants. I don't know what to think about this. I'll turn it over to you, but before I do, I just want to say, start Cooper Rush, bench Dak.
Dude.
What?
how? I don't understand how this happened. Cooper Rush was supposed to be the worst backup in the league according to all the experts out there. So he's having his day in the sun right now. He is him. And we're talking about
him.
Not him. Cooper Rush is him for backups.
I can't explain how aggravating it was losing to Cooper fucking Rush after getting sacked 9 times or some bullshit like that, man.
Yeah.
Fuck Micah Parsons
is
he's so good, dude. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
the best young defensive player by far.
I was sad when we missed that podcast as well.
I know, yeah. You were probably going to roast me.
Yeah.
I literally went into it, though. I was like, okay, this should be a free win against Cooper Rush, their first time. We're coming off a loss. We should be angry. But then right before kickoff, I was like, man, this would be such a Bengals thing to do, to lose this game. And sure enough, two losses on last-second field goals. Sure enough. But yeah, so how are you feeling about this, though, overall?
I feel like he's about to be 4-0. We're facing the Commanders, who are in competition for that worst team in the league. Carson Wentz is just imploding on himself right now. He is very bad. Yeah.
He didn't have much time to do anything, though. The Eagles were all over the Commanders.
Oh, I think he got sacked 9 times.
That's some Bengals shit, bro.
Yeah. So, or no. That is some Bengals shit. Sorry, I got a little confused there for a second. But, so yeah, and I don't think Dak should come back as soon as Jerry's saying he should come back now. I think that they should give him more time because I don't want it to be last year like Russell Wilson when what was his pinky, his finger?
Something minor, yeah. I think it was one of his fingers.
It's one of his, yeah. Either way. And he came back too soon, and he looked like dog shit when he first came back. And then he ended up looking good because, like, 3 weeks later from the original timetable, he was supposed to come back. So I don't want that to happen again. I'd rather just stick with Cooper Rush for a little bit until he inevitably flies too close to the sun and his wings melt and he crashes and burns to the ground. Keep him in just long enough for Dak to get fully healthy and then take this team to contend for the NFC East. Because right now it's all the Eagles.
Yeah. So I 100% agree that this is kind of a perfect situation for Cowboys. It's not often that you get your backup quarterback to come in and win you 2 football games right off the bat. Like this, They very well could be 0-3 right now. And with an 0-3 record and Dak still needing a week or 2 to come back, that's a terrible situation to be in. Now 2-1, you have a division win on your belt. Like that, it can't be worse. Like Cooper Rush could literally lose his next 2 games, and he did his job. He went 2-2. He got you 2 wins. But here's my thing is, and I know this is crazy. I know this is a hot take. Cooper Rush is winning football games. Cooper Rush is 2-0. Dak Prescott is 0-1. Do the math. Who's winning football games? If it ain't broke, you don't fix it, okay? Keep Cooper Rush in the game. Look, if Cooper Rush goes on and beats the Commanders, and then I don't know who you guys play after that, but if he goes on and wins the next 2 games, and you guys are 4-1, and Dak comes back healthy, why would you bench Cooper Rush? Why would you ruin all your momentum?
Well, because Dak is better. This isn't a Dak Prescott, Tony Romo situation where Dak was
Alex
rookie
Smith,
coming
Colin
in.
Kaepernick. Okay, I would have told you Alex Smith was way better than Colin Kaepernick. I would have told you as soon as Alex Smith comes back, he should be playing. I bet you all the Niners fans would have said that too. And then look who took him to a Super Bowl.
Well, I don't think we have to run into that problem because the next 2 games after the Commanders are the Rams and then the Eagles.
All right, so if he wins those games, then you roll with him. You have to. Like that's even better. Like if he wins those games, you have to roll with him. I don't think he will. I think, like you said, though, that he's inevitably going to fly too close to the sun. He's going to crash at some point. But overall, I think he's done his job. Cowboys fans should be very happy with their backup and what he's done. And I don't know. From an outside perspective, I would love to see Cooper Rush take that offense over.
We get the Bears at home? Fuck yeah. I'm sorry. This is the first time I've actually looked through our whole schedule.
We have the hardest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I'm not excited.
If he does beat the Eagles, though, I will be extremely happy. I'm not counting on anything against the Rams, but if he beats the Eagles, because that's a winnable game. It's a divisional game. Anything can
It
happen.
is. It is very winnable. Yeah.
Even though the Eagles are looking so good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. And I don't know how much of their last game was just the Eagles looking really good or the Commanders being absolute horseshit.
Yeah, the only team that they've played that's halfway decent is the Vikings.
Yeah.
So,
and even against the Lions, they almost lost.
Well, the Lions just kind of come back the way that the Lions do. So I'm not going to hold that against them too hard.
A little bit of garbage time, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of garbage time comeback. I don't think that game was in real danger.
Yeah.
So, maybe the Eagles just haven't beat anyone yet. I don't think they're as good as people are saying they are right now. It might be a little deceptive.
Well, while we're on this topic, let's go ahead and bounce to the Eagles and Dolphins, the only two 3-0 undefeated teams left. Do you think they're going to slow down? Are they going to slow down? How do we feel about their momentum going forward?
So I think Jalen Hurts will inevitably get exposed. He's looking really good right now. His ball looks the way he's throwing just looks so much better than he did last year. I will say that.
His deep ball is pretty.
Yeah. So maybe I could be wrong about that, but I just still don't believe in him. I'm sorry, Eagles fans, I don't. So.
Yeah, I'm not buying the Jalen Hurts for MVP hype.
No.
Not to diss him at all because he hasn't done anything to knock. Like he's played out of his mind for the first 3 weeks. It's just don't think he's going to be able to continue it. I think the Eagles are going to regress, and I also think the Dolphins are going to regress as well. They got to play the Bills again.
I still think the Eagles can win 12 games.
I do too. I think the Eagles can win.
So that's
11 or 12.
That's still kind of slowing down from where they are because right now everyone's like 15 games and like that's what it seems like people are hyping them up to be. But I still think the Eagles can win 12 games this year, which isn't necessarily saying them slowing down. The Dolphins probably won't win 12 games. They might win 11, 10 or 11.
Yeah, I was going to say I see the Dolphins more around 10 or 11.
I think the Dolphins will probably slow down more than the Eagles. But boy, does Tua look good.
Yeah, dude. Oh, okay. So Tua looked really good against the Ravens. Really good against the Ravens.
Yeah, he did.
But then he hasn't really done anything special aside from that.
Yeah, and the Ravens secondary is kind of garbage too. Not kind of. It is.
I think other than his 6 touchdowns in that game, I think he has 1 in the other 2 games. He had 1 in his first game, 0 in his last one, and then 6 in the second game. So
it's okay, though.
I don't know what to feel about Tua, because I am not a big Tua guy. I'm not a huge Tua hater, but I just don't think he has what it takes to be a winning quarterback in the NFL. But I'm wrong. He's 3-0, I don't know.
I like the Dolphins a lot. Dolphins are one of my favorite teams. Just every time I bet on them, they cover the spread. I don't know what it is. And Jalen Waddle, baby.
Oh, yeah. He's fun to watch, man.
Oh, my God. What a steal that was in my fantasy team.
Him and Tyreek together are wild.
Are insane. So, and I think Jalen Waddle might be better than Tyreek.
I remember, we even talked about it whenever he went to Miami, saying that Tyreek is destined to have a down year, I don't care how much he hypes up Tua. It's going to be different with Jalen Waddle there and also not having Patrick Mahomes throwing to you.
So far, he has not had a down year, though. So far, he's been freaking awesome.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. Just that whole duo, I mean, it's just pure speed, baby. You can't keep up with those guys. Both Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are just in a flash.
It's simple math. My guy faster than your guy.
Exactly. We score touchdowns.
Yeah. So they cracked the code.
So another one, while we were on kind of the top 2 teams, let's go here for the contenders. So how do you feel about the current status of contenders? Who do you think are the current contenders? How many do you think there are, etc.?
So I still think that we still have the same contenders as we did at the beginning of the season. I'm not going to move off that, but some of those contenders do look worrisome. The Bucks, they're 2-1, but
a lot of injury problems.
Tom Brady doesn't look too good out there. I mean, his main target was Russell Gage last week, but didn't look good at all. Maybe the whole Giselle stuff is starting to affect him on the field. I don't know. I don't
Wait,
know.
what's happening with Giselle?
They are like separated right now. They're having
Wait, what?
big time marital problems.
How did I not hear about this?
Yeah, it's look it up, dude. Like
That's nuts.
yeah,
Not
so-
Brady, man.
I know. I don't want it to happen either.
Dude, if Brady and Giselle break up, like, I don't have
Love-
fucking
love is
faith in
dead.
love anymore. Yeah, love's gone.
And the Packers, their defense is legit. Same thing with the Bucks. Like their defense is insane. Packers defense is insane.
Yeah.
Offense looks like they're missing a beat. Maybe Alan Lazard will like transform or transcend into that number one role and take it over. Romeo Dobbs looks like he's ready to take over that number one role right now.
Yeah, he looks good, man.
Oh, he's looking awesome.
Yeah. Remember the Christian Watson, who everybody hyped up at the beginning after the draft and everything, and it just hasn't been much.
He dropped that surefire touchdown pass week 1, and then Rodgers just hates him. So
Yeah. Take
he's
it
like,
off
you're done.
Rodgers'
kid.
shit list, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, you're done with me. The Rams they looked awful week 1. They didn't even look that great. They had a really good first quarter against the Cardinals, and then they just kind of went off that to win the game last week. I'm trying to think who else in the AFC. Bills have gone nowhere. They're number one team in the NFL. We already covered that.
Yeah.
Bengals.
I think
I don't know,
we're
man.
gonna be fine. I think we're gonna be fine.
You think
I don't,
you're gonna be fine?
I don't think we're a contender, but I think we're a playoff dark horse this year.
Okay. Chargers is another team that a lot of people like to contend.
At
They're
this
doing
point, I
Chargers
don't think
things.
so.
They're also extremely hurt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that game against the Jags, man. Like, I knew they were banged up, and as soon as Herbert got announced he was playing, I took Chargers -3, and then the line moved to 6.5 before kickoff, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I got a steal," and then they just got blown out by 28 points. So yeah, I think Chargers and the Bengals might be in the same boat. I think I would put the Bengals above the Chargers a little bit in terms of like deep playoff run potential. But yeah, I would like to say wait 3 weeks, let the Bengals go on a 3-game win streak, and then talk to me after that. You know, because we got the Dolphins at home, which I am more confident about that game than I was playing Cooper Rush probably.
Okay.
And then we got the Ravens on the road. That's going to be really tough, but it's a divisional game. Anything can happen. And then we got the Saints. So I think if we come out of these next 3 games, 3-3, we're in really good shape because then we got the Falcons, Browns, Panthers, all very winnable games.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
The Browns.
Browns on the road is always tough. It's divisional. Every divisional game is tough for us.
The Browns might be one of those teams that throw up there in contender. I mean, they're looking,
Really,
they're
dude?
looking
No,
good.
no,
I mean,
they're not,
just like for Deshaun to come back.
dude.
They're
I
2-1
mean,
with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, and who they beat? The Panthers by 2 points and the Steelers. Okay, I'm not impressed by a win against the Steelers.
Maybe it was just that primetime win. I don't know, but who did they
I
play
don't know.
this
I mean,
week? That
They play the Falcons this week. and-
Okay, so jury's still out on the Browns. Even if they win this week.
I think this will be. I think we'll wait till Love It or Loathe It because I think the Falcons might make a little splash.
Okay. Yeah.
But all right, so going from contenders, we already talked about kind of the worst teams. So already talked about the Raiders. Last 2 in the NFL. First thing, is Lamar Jackson having another MVP season?
He's having another MVP caliber type season. He's balling out. Back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. Back-to-back 40-point fantasy performances. Or 30, I think he had like 39 point something.
Close
but
enough.
We'll just call it 40 points.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Just throwing a lot of touchdowns. He's showing out. He's trying to prove that he's trying to get the bag right now, basically, and he's earning it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. What's that meme where it's like from Friday? It's like you want 50 million 50s, 20 million in 20s, and 10 million in 10s. That's what Lamar Jackson's about to get. He's going to get whatever money he wants. Baltimore is going to shell it out now. But I totally agree. I think this is another MVP caliber season. Is it a sure thing? No, absolutely not. Nothing's a sure thing after week 3. But I would be much more willing to put Lamar Jackson in that MVP finalist conversation than I would Jalen Hurts right now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so he's balling out, and there's no arguments against it. And last on the NFL is, are the Saints falling apart?
They've fallen apart. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I don't know what to think of them because like my expectations for them were so scatterbrained. You know, like
they were like dark horse playoff team.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially, but also they could flop. Like it was like they're a weird team.
Man, I don't like what we've seen so far. It was a comeback win against Atlanta. J-Mo has not looked great.
Yeah.
He's throwing picks all over the place like he was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Might be another 30 for 30 season. Maybe not as prolific. Maybe a 20 for 20, which is just still much worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say still something.
So we'll see. I don't know. As long as he just throws the ball to Chris Olave, I think I'll be happy with the Saints, though.
Yeah. Honestly, just get Olave his targets. But no, I don't know if I want to say that they're completely falling apart yet. I will say though, like the fact that Alvin Kamara hasn't been a big vital part of that offense is really telling. He is kind of that, or has been that focal point for the last 3-4 years. So without him putting out production, they're not going to get much done. So yeah, I don't know what to think other than the fact that dark horse playoff appearance might be kind of out of the picture at this point. I just don't really see it happening unless they bounce back because they got what? They got the Vikings, then they got the Seahawks and the Bengals. Okay, well, they're probably going to go 1-2 in those three. So
okay.
I don't know. We'll see. I just don't see them winning a whole lot of games, maybe like 8 or 9. Where are you seeing them at? Based on this start, I'd
probably around 8.
Yeah, I think so. All right, well, that is all we got for the NFL so far. Let's go ahead and jump over now to college football. Not as much on college football, but still some pretty big talking points, after the first 4 weeks of the season, which it's always a mind boggle going from, the NFL being 3 weeks in and college football being 4 weeks in, technically 5 weeks in because of week 0. So it's like, it's a mind trip, but there's been 4 college football games. That's all you need to know. So first things first, one of the big ones is, did Georgia somehow get even better?
Yes.
Yes. They look ridiculous.
I'll tell you who got better himself is Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett looks like he's about to have a long career in the NFL as a backup, which is not a knock on him because before you're like, this kid's going undrafted, he's never going to play down in the NFL. Now I'm like, this dude could be like a Colt McCoy. He can come in and win you a couple games off the bench. I don't think I'd want him to be the guy, but like I'd want him in my locker room, that's for sure. So he's awesome. Brock Bowers is
unreal.
Unreal. I'm trying to think of superlatives to talk about him. They couldn't even come to mind. That's how good he is.
Yeah, he's making ridiculous plays week in and week out.
He's a future first-round pick. And then their defense hasn't missed a beat after getting 31 first-rounders taken from the previous year. So, yeah, Georgia's not gone anywhere. They're probably my pick for the national championship. They look like they're ready to repeat.
Yeah, it is kind of a bummer. I don't like when Georgia does good. I don't know why. I just don't love it. I picked Ohio State and Bama for my national championship matchup. Mm-hmm. But at this point, I'm now thinking also Georgia as well should be the favorite, without a doubt. I mean, Look at what they did to Oregon. And, at first I would have said, oh, man, that Oregon's just not as good as everybody thought they were. Bo Nix at quarterback, classic Bo Nix. Here we go again. But Oregon manhandled BYU, a good BYU team that beat a good Baylor team. So it's like they're just that good. They held their first 3 opponents to 10 total points. And wow. Yeah.
It's crazy because that Oregon win just looks so much better, especially after Oregon beat BYU. So they beat the dog shit out of a really good college football team.
A top 25 team. Oregon's a top 25 team without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, to win 49-3, that's just unheard of. What's wild, though, is and I wouldn't worry too much about it. I'm not trying to bring anything up by saying it was wild that Georgia's defense gave up 10 points in their first 3 games and then gave up like 17 to Kent State. So
Maction, baby.
yeah, Maction. It was random, but it was fun to watch. So yeah, that is just absolutely nuts. The fact that they've managed to get even better. I thought they might fall off just a tad. I was completely wrong. Wrong. They look way better. So
hands in the air.
Yeah.
We dismissed Georgia.
You got us, Kirby. So speaking of one of those title favorites, though, was Ohio State. And one of the biggest and most recognizable names in college football this season, Jackson Smith-Njigba, projected to be the number 1 receiver taken in the draft on like every board ever, hasn't played all season. He got hurt in the first 10 minutes of their opening game against Notre Dame, and his timetable has still not been announced. Nobody really knows what's going on. So how do we feel about that?
That sucks. It gives me kind of some hope that since they haven't announced the timetable, that they're saying it will be sometime this season. Because if it was season ending, then they would have shut him down already, right?
I agree, yeah.
So probably pretty serious. He'll probably be back in time for week 9 or 10. That's in time. Be my guess.
Yeah, just in time for the real crunch time games come in. Yeah, it is a bummer. I think he was going to be one of those really, really exciting players to watch this year, like Devontae Smith type thing when he had his crazy season. So, in terms of Ohio State, they're going to be fine. I mean, they got Marvin Harrison Jr. as their wide receiver too, who is just awesome. Yeah, so they're going to be okay. It's just kind of a bummer to not see one of the most electric players in the country. Excuse me. All right, so overall, though, not an individual player, from a conference standpoint, who would you say, which conference, assuming it's got to be Power 5, is the most competitive or most entertaining right now through the first 4 games?
So, I think it's a little bit too early to tell for that because, Big 12 is always going to be competitive. Pac-12, not so much. SEC is obviously the cream of the crop, and Big 10 is doing Big 10 things. But the ACC has been really good this year and has been really fun to watch. They've turned out some good games. Like that Florida State-Louisville game that was on Friday night was really good. Virginia had a good game against Syracuse last week. I mean, the Duke has already won 3 games, and their line was at 2.5.
Yeah, dude.
So if Florida State is somewhat back, Miami thought they were back.
They lost to Middle Tennessee, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, Mario Cristobal, what are you doing?
That was tough. But the ACC has been better than advertised. So, and Clemson it looks like that they're maybe bound for the college football playoff again.
I think so too. Yeah. Honestly, I was going to go with the Big 12, but now that you bring that up, I mean, the ACC has been really entertaining to watch. Yeah, because just alone in the ACC Atlantic, you got 4-0 Clemson, 4-0 FSU, 4-0 Syracuse, 4-0 NC State, 3-1 Wake Forest, who's also a top 25 team in my opinion. And then the ACC Coastal, you got Duke, who's 3-1, UNC, who's 3-1, Pitt, who's 3-1. No undefeated teams there, but still, that is going to be interesting to see how that shakes up. Never did I think that Duke would be in this conversation, ever. Yeah. So they've been kind of fun to watch. Yeah, long term they won't, but I mean, hey, they gave Kansas a run for their money. That was a fun game to watch.
Kansas is 4-0.
Dude, oh my God. Yeah, well, here, before we go into Kansas, I want to just talk about the Big 12 a little bit because I think it's going to end up being the craziest race at the end of the season. All of these, every single team right now is in contention, except for Texas and West Virginia. And that's about it. Oklahoma is in contention with their 1 loss to K-State. I think they are still. TCU undefeated. Oklahoma State undefeated. Tech undefeated. 3-1, but they just beat Texas, so they're 1-0 in conference. Kansas State 3-1, undefeated in conference. Same with Baylor, and then Kansas is first in the Big 12. What kind of world are we living in where Kansas is first in football? I don't know what to think about this.
I don't know, but this is the world we're living in now. I mean,
exactly.
I didn't think we would be there, but Kansas is going to make a bowl game this year.
I think 100%. Yeah, they beat West Virginia on the road in
Good team.
Morgantown.
West Virginia's a good team.
They beat Houston on the road, who we
Houston's a good
thought
team.
was like a runaway for the American Conference. So,
Yep.
which
I bet on
who
Kansas
knows
that
now?
game, so that made me feel good.
Oh, really? Yeah, I passed. I had Houston spread picked out, but then last minute I was like, nah, let me see if this Kansas hype is for real. And then it was.
And it was. So
Yeah,
that's
glad
good.
I did. But yeah, it's nuts. I don't think I never thought I would see this happen with Kansas right now. Their over under win total was set at 2.5 for a reason because they just haven't been good. But Lance Leopold, their new head coach, he's the guy, man. He is him.
Yeah.
He is whatever he's doing. It is working. Their quarterback Jalen Daniels is a stud. He got to come off the bench last year, never really got a full opportunity. But when he did in his only 3 starts, he had like 700 yards and 6 touchdowns in 3 games. So like now that he's starting, he's a Heisman candidate right now. Think about that. A Kansas quarterback winning the Heisman. Never in my wildest dreams could I imagine that. So, but yeah, that's how college football is going this year. It's just one of those wild years, I guess. And
It's
speaking
awesome.
of Texas, being at the bottom of the Big 12, they just lost to Texas Tech this past week. But we all know all the hype coming into the year was on Quinn Ewers, the quarterback, super illustrious high school recruit. Do you think Texas beats Texas Tech if Quinn Ewers is healthy?
I'll do you one better. Texas beats Bama.
Oh,
Quinn Ewers is healthy.
oh God, I knew you were saying it.
Dude, were you watching that game?
I did. Yeah, I watched like the whole thing.
I did as well. And they were winning that football. They were the better football team when
I agree.
Ewers was on the field.
I do agree.
And like all those field goals that they got with Hudson Card would have been touchdowns if it was for Quinn Ewers, if he was on the field. So yeah, absolutely, Texas would have beat Texas Tech if Ewers was playing. They would be undefeated right now.
It's hard
And
to say.
I will
man.
die on that hill.
It's hard to say because Bama, the game would have gone differently. Like if Ewers was in the game the whole time, it would have gone differently. Bama would have run plays differently. Like the butterfly effect, nobody knows exactly what would have happened. But like,
True.
you're right. And as weird and painful as it is for me to say this, Texas was the better team on that day. They played a better game. Alabama didn't deserve to win that football game, but they found a way to win, as good teams do. So yeah, I reluctantly agree with you that I do think if Ewers is healthy, they at least beat Tech. They beat Tech for sure. Bama, that's tough. But yeah, man, it would be a scary world with a 4-0 Texas team that beat Bama and a healthy Quinn Ewers. That would be a scary team. So,
It would be.
And then last but not least on college football, who is your most exciting team to watch right now?
Okay. Been watching a lot of TCU football, of course.
Yeah.
And we're pretty exciting right now.
Yeah.
Demario Davis is electric.
Oh, dude, he's so fast. I love it.
Yeah, so he's one. Florida State's pretty good TV right now, I will say. They're another one that I'll throw out. Most exciting though, it's hard because there's just so many games to touch. I don't have time to watch all of the college football games that I want to watch. Just trying to think of exciting games that I've seen so far, but man, TCU's the one I've watched the most, and they've been pretty exciting.
The SMU game was pretty exciting, I will say, even though it
was.
scared me a little bit towards the end. But I've got to go with Appalachian State, man.
Oh, very good answer.
Yeah, dude. They got that. Obviously, we know about that crazy UNC game.
That's
where,
the right answer, actually.
Yeah, like UNC, that just was crazy. It did 63-61 after like 42 points in the fourth quarter. Then they go to College Station. They upset A&M by 3 points. Really close game. Won it thanks to a missed field goal. And then they play Troy at home. They're losing 28-24 with 3 seconds left and get a 60-yard Hail Mary to win the game. And then they host James Madison, JMU's first year as a Division I football program. They're up by 21 points, blow it in the fourth quarter and lose at home to James Madison. Like every game they've played this year has been must watch TV at the end of the game. So
Pretty sure the score was 28-3 at one point.
of the JMU game,
Yeah.
that's hold on, wait. Let me click the box score real quick. You are right. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. So
Yeah.
that's exciting for the wrong reason on App State, but still, it was a great football game to watch. So I got to go with App State. Didn't really think that would be the team, but it is.
No,
So
that is the correct answer. You're right.
all right, now let's go ahead and wrap things up with our favorite segment, and that's Taylor Fade.
Of
So
all
again,
time. Yeah.
if you don't know how it works, we're going to give off our 5 favorite college football picks, 5 favorite NFL picks. For example, if I'm saying my pick, like my first one, Wisconsin -7 against Illinois, Elijah will either tail the pick or fade the pick. So, Elijah, that's my first pick. I got Wisconsin -7.
It's gross.
I think Wisconsin has been really disappointing, and I think this line would
They're
be a
due.
lot more. Like, they're due. They got to have a bounce-back win, and Illinois is not a great football team.
I'll tail.
All right. Tail on that one. And this one was a little iffy for me, but I'm going to take – because I didn't do it last week when Louisville ran over South Florida 42-3. But I'm going to do it this week. I'm taking Louisville 15.5 at Boston College. They had a rough start against Syracuse. They bounced back against Florida State. Even though they lost, I think they played a really good game. And Malik Cunningham is finally getting on his roll. He's doing some Heisman shit. So I think Malik Cunningham has another Malik Cunningham game.
Okay, I tail. I like Malik Cunningham. He was awesome in that Florida State game. They should have won. I had money on Louisville.
He was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I did too. I also had money on Louisville in that one. It was a brutal ending because their backup quarterback, FSU's backup quarterback, came in and just played lights out.
Yep, he sure did.
All right, so then I got Michigan State plus 8.5 at Maryland. Michigan State has burned me the past 2 weeks. I took them against Washington when they got blown out. I took them against Minnesota when they got blown out. There's absolutely, I don't care how bad they got blown out. There's no reason they should be 8.5-point underdogs at Maryland. It's too many points. Maryland is probably going to win, but that's too many points.
I made the mistake of fading Maryland last week against Michigan. I'm not going to do that again here. I'm going to fade this pick.
That's the only thing that scares me is because, damn, Maryland looked really good against Michigan. But, all right, so those are my 3 spread picks. And I got a couple over-unders. I'm going Baylor and Oklahoma State under 57.
I'm going to fade this pick. I hate totals. I hate going under. That's just one of those ones I'm going to go over. Give me the over.
All right. It would be a classic Big 12 situation if it went over. So, and then last one, I got Virginia at Duke over 48.5. Duke is a very historical under team, but this year they've gone 3-0 on the over. They've been scoring way too many points for what they're expected. I think it's going to continue.
And Virginia has a pretty decent quarterback, so I'm going to tail this one.
All right. All right, 3 tails, 2 fades. All right, let's throw it over to you for college football, and then we'll go to NFL.
Okay, I'm starting this one off gross. Give me Ole Miss -7 at home versus Kentucky.
This is gross. This is such a gross line because it's like exactly where it should be. I don't know. I'm going to tail. I like Ole Miss a lot. Kentucky looked kind of rough their last game, so yeah, give me Ole Miss.
Yep. Next up, I got Texas Tech plus 8.5 versus K-State. This might be a little bit of overcorrection for K-State beating OU. I think Texas Tech has been competitive, and you know how much I hate Tech and how much I love the fade Tech.
Yeah.
So I'm rolling with Tech in the points.
Man, I like K-State this year. I really like K-State, but Tech 8.5 is a lot of points.
Is Deuce still there?
Deuce Vaughn's still there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Stud.
Yeah, he is a stud. I think, man, I think I'm going to tail it. I think I have to.
Okay.
I'll tail it.
Another gross line. I'm taking Bama -17.5 at Ark.
At Arkansas. Ooh. Man, this is another ugly one, but I like both sides of this because it's like 17.5 points is a lot of points for a home underdog, but also it's fucking Alabama.
Yep.
I'm gonna fade. I think it'll be maybe another surprisingly close game. I don't know. Fuck it.
Okay.
We'll go.
Yeah. Well.
Actually, no. I'm gonna tail.
You're gonna tail?
I'm tailing.
Okay.
I'm changing my mind.
Good.
It's Bama.
Good,
You gotta
good,
go with Bama.
Yeah, because I remember this game last year. It was Georgia and Ark, and the spread was almost this. It was 18. Everyone was like, "It's too many points. Too many points. Too many points."
I was
Georgia
that guy.
steamrolled. Arkansas at home.
Yeah, I was that guy.
I think
that
this
said
is
it's too
I think
much
this is a similar situation. Kansas +3 versus Iowa State. Talked about how good they were earlier in the show.
I think it's gotta come to an end at some point, and I think Iowa State is a good football team, not a great football team, but I think, man, is Kansas at home?
Yep.
God damn it! Of course they are. Fuck.
With their
I'm gonna
1,000
fade.
fans.
I'm gonna fade. I think they're probably selling out like every game now.
I don't know.
But yeah, I'm gonna fade that one. I think Iowa State. I'm not gonna overthink it. I know Kansas has the hype, but I think Iowa State's a better team.
Okay. Last but not least, I got UNC -8.5 versus Virginia Tech.
How did UNC do in their last game? Let's see. UNC, because I didn't see their last one. Oh god damn it! Why does it pull up basketball schedule? Nobody cares about basketball schedules. So okay, yeah, they played a pretty close game with Notre Dame. I'm gonna fade this. I think
Okay.
I don't know. That's a really tough one though, because Virginia Tech has been not somewhat. They've been very disappointing this year. So I don't know, but I think they might bounce back and get at least within 8. So I'll take Tech.
Okay.
All right. So we both ended up with the same 3 tails, 2 fades. All right. So moving on to the NFL now. My first pick is primetime Thursday night football. And I don't usually bet on them, but this line is fucky. And I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals in the first half, -2.5. I think they come out in a hot start, just like they did against the Jets, and they slow down in the second half.
So I'm gonna tail this. Also, this line might have shrunk to 2, just 2, because the line itself just shrunk to 3.5 during this podcast.
Oh, okay. Even better. Sweet. You know what that means? The public's taking Miami. That's what I like to see.
Well, according to this, it's about 50-50 with 81% of the money going on Bengals.
Oh, I like that. I like that though. Yeah, it's been interesting with my job now. Like I literally get emails from DraftKings with like insights, like the exact percentage of everything that's bet for every sport. It's pretty cool.
Huh.
Like I can see all the splits. I can see the most popular bets of the day and all that. And I never take the most popular bets of the day.
Yeah. Fade those.
All right, so tailing that one. And then, like I said at the beginning of the episode, Atlanta. I got the Falcons, even though they're dog shit. I got the Falcons beating the Browns at home this week, but Vegas gave me a point. I'm going to take a point. Give me Atlanta plus 1.5 against the Browns.
I'm gonna fade.
I was expecting you to, yeah.
Yeah. I like the Browns with Jacoby Brissett. Hopefully they can just pass the ball to Kyle Pitts and then they just call it a day.
So I'm going to go next. Chargers at Texans over 44. My logic on this one is that the Texans offense has been scoring way more points than people expected them to. The Chargers need a bounce back, so I feel like their offense is going to look a lot better than that 10-point performance. And they also gave up 38 points to the Jags. So that's my philosophy there.
Yeah, I guess I'll tail.
NFL over-unders are hard, man.
They're a kick in the nuts this year. Just if it's primetime game, just bet the under. That's the only thing that seems to be sticking.
Done. I've done it almost every primetime game so far.
Jets, Steelers, under 40.
Yeah, so next pick, I got Jets at the Steelers, under 41.5. I think even though everybody's hype about Zach Wilson coming back, the Steelers defense is going to be too good, and the Steelers offense is not good. So under 41.
No TJ Watt, Zach Wilson's going to eat. I'm going to fail.
Oh, no. I mean, I would love to see Zach Wilson eat. I would love to see the Jets win this game. And then my last pick in the NFL, which I feel like you're going to fade, is I got the Commanders +3 at Dallas. I think this is going to be one of those weird division games. I actually think the Commanders are going to win it. That's just what my gut tells me.
Okay. I'm going to fade because Cooper Rush. And that's all.
Cooper Rush, the greatest quarterback in the NFL.
All right. This one seems like a layup, which kind of scares me, but Bills -3 at Ravens.
Yeah, it scares the shit out of me too because all the sharp action is on Ravens, but I don't care. I think last time all the sharp action was on the Patriots against the Ravens last week, and look what that did to me. So I'm going with the Bills as well. I'm going to tail
Yeah.
that.
Like I said, every time that you say the Sharps are on this, well, if the Sharps are right every time, they'd be cajillionaires. So
That's true, but the Sharps are right 55% of the time, which is more than the average Joe.
Right, true. But I'm better than them.
Honestly, we hit at 58%. Fuck 55%.
I think we hit it 70% last year during
I
the
was going to
segment.
say, actually, yeah, our Taylor Fade was like the greatest betting system to ever exist last year.
Yeah, and we didn't make money off of it because we just made it a podcast segment and didn't take all the bets.
Yeah, we just
Colossal mistake.
Well, we got to see how we're doing. This will be our first real test.
You know what? We should do it this week.
Yeah, dude, I'm scared, man. I'm scared. I'm always scared.
We'll start with college football. We won't place all of them at the same time, but we'll start with college. See how we do.
Okay.
We'll do okay, and then we'll murder on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down to try it. Yeah, maybe like half unit to start.
Half units, okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Out.
I think I'm gonna do it full. But
you go for it. You got it.
Yeah. That's all me. Jags plus 6.5 at the Eagles.
Ooh, that's tough. That's real tough.
They're frisky.
They are frisky. I'm gonna tail that. I think
a lot of points.
Yeah, a lot of points. I think the Eagles are due for regression.
All right. Next up, I got Raiders minus 2.5 versus the Broncos at home.
I also got to tail that.
They're due.
They are so due, and the Broncos are so bad. That actually might be like my favorite pick of the entire weekend, right there.
Yep. It's gross, but I love it.
It is. It's gross, but I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Saints plus 2.5 versus the Vikings.
I am gonna fade this one.
Yeah.
Although I do think the Saints need this one to bounce back. And this 2.5 scares me because I think the Vikings should be a bigger favorite. But I'm going to fade it. I think the Vikings are going to look a little bit better than they did last week.
Okay. And then last but not least, Titans plus 3 at the Colts.
I'm going to fade this one as well. I think Indianapolis figured it out a little bit. It may have been an ugly game, but they got away with a win and against a really good opponent. So I think that was big for their morale. I think it's going to be big for their momentum. 3 points is, you would like to say at college football, 3 points, like, oh, that's nothing. In the NFL, 3 points is a lot. It's so much. Like, there's so many 1 and 2 point games. It's insane. So, yeah, I'm going to fade that one reluctantly. So, again, ending with 3 tails, 2 fades. And you had 2 tails, 3 fades on my NFL picks. So, All right, that wraps up our first Love It or Loathe It for this official football season. So it feels good to be able to get our picks out. And hopefully we continue our hot streak from last year with these picks. I guess we're trying it officially for the first time. So stay tuned on next episode where we're either buzzing because we just hit like 10 units or we're crazy depressed because everything went poorly.
It's probably going to go very mediocre if I had to take a guess.
I think so. Yeah, that's why I'm not like crazy worried, but I'm also scared to kind of like go all in because this is a lot of picks. I mean, this is 20 bets right here.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. So yeah, that's going to do it for our episode. We're going to try our darndest to continue doing them on Wednesday nights. May end up picking a different day that works out better. We'll kind of have to discuss more long-term scheduling stuff now with new jobs and everything. So yeah, appreciate you guys listening if you stayed the whole time, and we will again try our best to be back next week. Stay tuned for updates on that, but yeah, have a good one and enjoy watching football and doing nothing all Sunday, which is what we will be doing.
Red Zone, 6 hours commercial-free football.
Exactly. God, I miss Scott Hansen's voice. All right. Anyway, that's it. See you guys.
Peace.